a nuke, but it has radiological energy coming off it, alpha, beta decay, whatever.
Same secrecy.
Same secrecy.
In a 1952 Look magazine article titled The Hunt for the Flying Saucer, chief UFO investigator for the Air Force, Captain Edward J. Ruppelt, is quoted saying, "Many of the sightings reported had originated at one atomic weapons-related site or another, all around the country."
And Ruppelt is on record in the article saying that we are aware of 63 separate incidents of UFOs being sighted at nuclear weapons facilities.
In fact, the rumors of UFOs at Los Alamos and other nuclear sites were so widespread that Eleanor Roosevelt wrote to Oppenheimer inquiring about them. Responding with a letter that's been fully verified and archived in the Library of Congress, Oppenheimer wrote back, reassuring the former First Lady that these were just rumors. But from a 1971 Australian intelligence document written by the head of their nuclear division, Harry Turner, Oppenheimer was deeply involved in exotic anti-gravity research. So is Oppenheimer playing dumb?
Would Oppenheimer have been told? The Manhattan Project would have custody of it, and then it would go into the Atomic Energy Commission, and then it would go into the Department of Energy, which has its own line of clearances, and that's why I can't find among the people I know who have clearances above top secret, they've never heard of this.
Yeah.
They've never heard of this because you can be in the Pentagon with a top secret clearance, but if you're not briefed on the atomic secrets, you wouldn't get the clearances that you needed to do to open up that thing.
Fast forward to 1964. We're on Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. A classified program is taking place called Atlas, testing dummy nuclear warheads being launched from intercontinental ballistic missiles. A photo instrumentation specialist, Lieutenant Bob Jacobs, was tasked with capturing the launch of 2 missiles from 100 miles north of Vandenberg at Big Sur. Fast forward to 1964. We're on Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. A classified program is taking place called Atlas, testing dummy nuclear warheads being launched from intercontinental ballistic missiles. A photo instrumentation specialist, Lieutenant Bob Jacobs, was tasked with capturing the launch of 2 missiles from 100 miles north of Vandenberg at Big Sur.
A giant 18-wheel truck came trucking up this Forest Service road and brought this enormous catadioptric telescope with a focal length of about 2,000 inches. The normal length on a 35-millimeter camera is 2 inches, so you can imagine how big the image would be in a 2,000-inch lens. So I said, wow, this is neat. And the guy who had built this thing was named Walt Manning, Dr. Walt Manning at Boston University. Anyway, we got the telescope all set up, we were ready to go, and Major Mansman called, and he said, tomorrow morning at 0600, get ready, because we're launching an Atlas missile, and we want you to photograph that with the big BU telescope. I went, okay. So at 0600, we were up and ready to go, and an Atlas missile popped up through the ground fog that was covering the whole coastline all the way down there. It was beautiful. We took the film back to Vandenberg, where it was processed, and a day later, I got a call from Major Mansman. He said, come up to my office. So I went to his office, and he said there was a movie screen set up and a 16-millimeter projector, and there was Major Mansman, and as I recall, 2 guys in gray suits. On the screen was the film we had shot. We could see clearly on film the nose cones separate, and then we saw the dummy warhead, and suddenly into that frame an object flew in, chasing the warhead and so on at the same speed. It's going between 6,000 and 8,000 miles an hour at that point. And
it fired a beam of light at the dummy warhead. The object flew up like this, shot another beam of light at the dummy warhead, went around like this, shot another beam of light at it, went down like this, shot a beam of light like this, and then flew out the same way it come in. At which time, the dummy warhead did this and fell out of the frame.
Florence Mansman analyzed the film frame by frame with a magnifier, what's called a loop magnifier. And he's on record by the mid-'80s, he was writing to Jacobs in private letters saying, what I saw with the magnifier was a disc-shaped object with a dome. And before each of the 4 flashes of light were observed, the whole disc pivoted, flashed the light, pivoted back, and then pivoted again for the next flash.
The lights came on, and Major Mansman said to me, were you guys screwing around up there? And I said, no, sir. And he said, what was that? And I said, it looks like we got a UFO. And he said, Lieutenant Jacobs, you are never to speak of this again. It never happened. The 2 guys in the gray suits stood behind him looking at me. He said, do I make myself clear? I said, yes, sir. What else are you going to say to the major in charge of you?
So who were these mysterious men in suits?
Mansman said they were CIA, and they confiscated the film, not a higher Air Force office. CIA confiscated the film.
Didn't they delete your records from the government as well? People denied that you worked at Vandenberg. Is that right?
They denied there was ever a Robert Jacobs in the Air Force. And in another inquiry, they denied there was ever a Robert Jacobs at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Then they denied there was ever anybody named Robert Jacobs in charge of the 1369th Photographic Union division that I ran.
And you managed over 100 people, so it's pretty easy for you to corroborate.
Yeah, I had 134 guys working for me, and I had two friends from college who were my commanding people. And I also have something called a DD-14. I have records here. My officer efficiency reports are in there. I can't get rid of stuff. My wife keeps saying, clear that shit out of that file cabinet over there, Bob. I go, no, I